This video is sponsored by Lunar Toy Store, the premier site for buying anime figures. If you're in the market for authentic and high quality figures, the place for you to go is definitely the Lunar Toy Store. Check them out today and pick up a figure from a company with excellent support and a wide catalog of figures. It helps to support the channel and gets you a figure to put on display. That being said, let's get into the video. It seems like we got a bit of a rough season ahead of us because there's not too many particularly eye-catching anime in the summer 2021 lineup. It feels to me as if they kinda busted their load a little early back in winter with a lot of the big name shows, and now it's kinda leaving us in a bit of a drought this summer. However, it's not as if there's nothing to actually keep an eye out for. So in this video I'm going to be discussing the anime which caught my eye this upcoming anime season, and in addition to that I'm going to be giving you a synopsis of each of the shows and sort of giving you my thoughts on why you should check them out. So yeah, feel free to yell at me in the comments if I missed anything and let me know why I should watch whatever show I may not have discussed here. Also, if you do find this video interesting, please do leave a like and make sure to subscribe to the channel, as I'll probably make a video on each of these anime as they air. With that being mentioned though, let's talk about our first anime. The Great Jahy Will Not Be Defeated is definitely a show you've probably seen in a couple of memes or two. The anime tells the story of the Great Jahy, the Dark Realm's second in command who was revered and feared by all. That was of course before being transported by a magical girl to a world where she must live much differently than she once did. That world being our human world, where she's now powerless and must stay in an apartment dealing with job, paying rent, all while plotting the revival of the Dark Realm. Now this feels like a concept which can be explored in a variety of ways depending on the show. For example, we could see her coming across as pretty fucking crazy describing herself as a former Dark Realm leader when she looks like, well, this. Not to mention with the memes coming from the manga so frequently, I imagine we'll see a lot of noteworthy scenes which will be entertaining to see for new viewers. Now admittedly this is a very typical seasonal anime, however I think what makes it stand out to me is the potential with the concept. And not to mention that the manga is pretty popular, I see memes of it all the time, so it probably does have some redeeming factors which may be actually enjoyable for new viewers and new people to the series. Now this anime will of course not be anything pretty exceptional I imagine, but I feel like a lot of people can still find a lot of enjoyment with the antics coming from her situation. I'm going to be one of the people that check out this anime, and I think if you enjoy that sort of slice of life comedy stuff, you probably should check it out too. Anyways, let's move on to the next anime of this season. I'm sure some of the viewers who have been here a while could have expected this to end up on the list. I'm a fan of the Dragon Maid series and I'm definitely excited to see its return. When it comes to slice of life anime, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is hands down one of my favorites. Interestingly enough, it actually was my introduction to the genre of slice of life for the most part, so I admittedly have a very fond place in my heart for this show. I can say confidently as someone that has read the manga that if you enjoyed the first season, you probably won't be disappointed with the second. And with the new season comes a new character. We're going to be getting the introduction of the character Lulu, who has already kinda had a little bit of a controversy with her design. See my video on that here. But yeah, regardless, I feel like she's going to have some plot elements related to her introduction, which is going to make her a welcome addition to the cast in my opinion. Much like the first season of Kobayashi, you can expect a lot of wholesome moments with a maybe not so healthy level of fan service. There's definitely some moments in Kobayashi which can feel like you're a little bit overdosing on the fan service, let's be honest. Though if you enjoy that sort of thing, cause I certainly do, you probably won't be disappointed to hear you'll get your supply. There's not too much to say about this show, but it's definitely worth mentioning for those unaware of the second season airing. If you haven't seen the first season of Kobayashi, here's my review on the first season so you guys can get an idea of what the show's about and maybe check it out for yourself. I know I'm excited for this anime and a few other people on my Twitter seem to be equally excited for it as well, so I thought it would be worth mentioning in this video. Regardless though, let's move on to our next anime. The last anime on our list here is How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. It tells the story of Kazuma Suma, who's been summoned to another world and is granted a meeting with the king in this unfamiliar kingdom. After providing an impressive plan to improve the country both economically and militarily, the king of this world makes a bold decision to cede the throne to him. Now with the kingdom in his hands, Kazuya calls the wise, the talented, and the gifted to his side. 5 people gather before the newly crowned king, but what talents and abilities do they possess? Will Pathful's outlook as a realist take Kazuya and the people of his kingdom down? Well, this is what we're here to watch the show to find out. Now the reason I picked this show because I feel like the idea is definitely more unique than most. The idea of a person from a different world being granted control of a country is interesting. Not to mention his approach is sort of hinted to be realist in nature. What that means exactly isn't the most specific in the synopsis, but I feel like that ambiguity leads me to be more interested if anything. I feel like this show has mass potential. There's so many different approaches that our protagonist Kazuya could take depending on the kingdom situation. In addition to that, I feel like seeing the outcomes of these approaches will be entertaining to see come to fruition. I feel like if the show takes a more serious approach to the practicalities of its solutions and leads into the realist perspective, then this definitely can be a good watch. Ideally, I would like an experience where you find yourself disagreeing with some of the solutions, but at the same time you can understand the perspective the protagonist is coming from. These are definitely some more high expectations for the show, however I feel like the concept alone allows the show to do something different and special with this idea. Thus, I'd be lying if I say I wouldn't be disappointed if it's not explored well. This will definitely be a top show on my list to see how it actually ends up, as the concept alone leaves a lot to be desired as compared to the other shows on this list. That's sort of why I put this as the last show on my list, because it's kind of just saving what could possibly be the best for last. I'm really hoping the show is not a letdown, but if it is, I'm probably going to make a video on why the concept could have been explored better, because this concept is really an interesting and unique idea. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Tell me in the comments what your summer lineup gonna be. I'd love to pick up more anime, but nothing besides these 3 really did catch my attention, I'll be honest with you. Like I said at the beginning, the season definitely feels more lackluster than the previous one, but I think that's a result of the studios dropping way too much content in the year at the beginning of the year. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, as I'll probably end up making more videos on these series as they air. And I think it'd be fun for us to follow along with our thoughts on the show and sort of have a bit of a back and forth in the comments as they air. So yeah, with that being said, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.
Fuck it, modern day killers really must hate fun. More often people taking lives, rocking knives and guns. To be a murder connoisseur is in the ruins of hell. Get used to luring the audience with more incest. Cause to my surprise, snatch your last 40 eyes, can't she? Nice try stopping the motherfucking Da Vinci. I'm human and race, sure can't stop at the pace, sir. Make sure we're standing up for